Hello again, and it's still very cold and snowy outside. Just wanted you guys to see that, and but we can still enjoy some wine. Today, I'm finishing up a bottle of Bordeaux. It's a Chateau Haut-Marbuzet, which is from the left bank, so it's Saint-Estèphe, and 2005, which was one of those. So far, it is really the year of the century in Bordeaux. You've had 2009 and 10 and 15 and 16 and 18 and 20, and they're all amazing. But 2005, for whatever reason, seems to be still, maybe because there's more, been more time, and all these critics have been tasting it again and again. It's just an incredible year. It was kind of a funny coincidence because Hani mentioned this in his tasting of the Tondonia a couple of days ago, but we'll get back to that. Anyway, this is a Cru Bourgeois exceptionnel, which is really the next thing under the Grand Cru classé. It's been making its way up the hierarchy for the last 20, 30, 40 years because of the quality that it had been producing. And so now it's really at the top of that scale. It's a property, again, originally, you go back, it's another Irish, owner in the Bordeaux region, the McCarthys. They sold it to the Dubosc family in the 50s, and now it's a family property by Dubosc. They make the Haut-Marbuzet. They have a second wine called Chateau McCarthy, so if you see that name, you know kind of the historical reference there. It is a Saint-Estèphe, so it's primarily Cabernet Sauvignon, 55%, heavy dose of Merlot, 40%, and then the rest is a little bit of Petit Verdot and Cabernet Franc, and this is how they're planted. It's aged in new oak every year, and the mix of oak, depending on where they get the barrels from, depends on the vintage, so they decide in terms of what they think is going to go better with the wine. And this is just really a very high quality wine. It's from a very good year. So we see, we opened it 3 days ago with my friend Jean-Pierre, brought it to a little gathering. And then, to be honest, I saved some, and that's all that's left for 3 days, just to see really how it's going to evolve, because it was just still too closed in on Thursday. And maybe it's the youth, maybe it's the year. Anyway, let's talk about it. On the nose, there's just this real Cabernet fragrance that comes right off. It's the fruit, the red fruit, the cherry, with a little bit of that age starting to show, and the color is a bit muddy. This is a pretty natural wine overall. I'm not sure if they do any filtering or whatever, but it's muddy. It's also because it's the bottom of the bottle, so there's some sediment in there, but it's got that sort of red Bordeaux color, a little bit of brown in it, not this clear Cabernet, more of an aged Bordeaux. And on the nose, the wood was very strong on Thursday, but now it's just gone. And this is what I wanted to wait for. There was a little bit of wood, a little bit of mustiness. It's all resolved. Now you've got the cherry, a little bit of spices, I think, coming from the Merlot, the fruit, a little bit of fruitiness that's added by the Cabernet Franc. And the color, the Petit Verdot adds a lot of color to, even though in very small doses. So it's just a very different wine. And the wood and the leatheriness, I think, that Hani has referred to is a little bit in the past, for me anyway. Definitely the wood. Let's see on the taste. Now you're getting a little bit more of that, what I call the patina of the older wines, where there's a little bit more of a sort of a acidic sweetness in it. Some of the fruit is gone, in the mouth, and it's kind of more of the earth tones. It's pleasant, not futzy, not fungy, not musty, but sort of pleasant earth tones with, what you can imagine as being what we call about like old book, old leather. Not much of a finish, but it's very pleasant in the mouth. Anyway, very different from where it was 3 days ago. I think, to me, this is another reminder. If you want to open a bottle like this and you want to enjoy it, I think that this is the right time for it. It's not, I wouldn't wait 5 years, but I would decant it for 2-3 hours, really in a decanter. Make sure it's just getting everything it needs, and then it's going to be very pleasant. Very, very good product by quality maker in the bourgeois sort of range of things, but it is really Saint-Estèphe. Cheers, and we'll see you again soon.